Can you really say yes to every request that comes your way? Sometimes we have this save the world attitude where you think you need to say yes to everything someone asks you to do or everything people ask you to do. Ask me. I know what I'm talking about. I've been there. You just feel like you need to help, you need to help, you need to help everybody. But is it always possible? No. And when you think you should say yes to what everyone asks of you, what happens? You become overcommitted, overtired maybe. Of course, we all have limited capacity, time, energy, skills. So it's not always possible to say yes to every request. Saying no can be very difficult at times, but it's often necessary to say no. I know you're a very helpful person and you like to say yes to every request that comes your way. And maybe you find it very difficult to say no. There are many reasons why you may want to say no to some requests. In fact, why you should say no to some requests. And in this series of discussions, I'm going to be chatting with some friends. And in some cases, I've asked some friends to share with us how they say no. Why they say no, why they don't say no, how they manage to say no, and how you can say no and still make the person feel you're on their side. Today, I've asked my friend Caroline to share with us how she says no and how you can say no without being rude, how you can say no and still make the person feel that, hey, I'm on your side. I know Caroline to be able to say no without making me feel let down. She's there for me and she's always there for me. Let's hear from Caroline.
Hello there, my name's Caroline and Basola has asked me to just share a couple of things about how I say no. Well, that's an interesting process. In my nature, I want to help people, I like being with people, I like to help things go well for people. But like everybody, there is only a certain capacity within my life, both with what I have time to do and actually what my skill set enables me to do. So let me talk you through a couple of ways that I have helped myself to be able to be a person that says no to things at times. How do I say no? Well, it sounds quite simple really, isn't it? Somebody asks you to do something and you say no. Well, it's not quite so straightforward as that. I've learned a couple of things really, and one is that it's okay to say no. It's okay to think realistically, what do I have time to do? And on that front of time, something I've tried to work on is the sort of concept really of not filling up my week or month or schedule, however you approach your time, not filling it up to its max, so that if there are some last minute, genuine emergencies, or sometimes where you really would like to step in and help somebody, or something comes up in your own time, that there is some wriggle room, if you like. So sometimes I've taken a look at my time and thought, I'm not sure that I have total capacity for that. So that's one thing, which is just to have an awareness of the week and month ahead that you have and what is good and beneficial to put into that. And another thing is the realization is that I'm not the only one who can help people, and sometimes I'm not the best person for that. I might be the most obvious or the most immediate, but in me stepping in and saying yes, then I'm taking the opportunity away from whoever the next person was that might be asked. And I guess in that concept as well, sometimes I would say I can do that. I do have time to fit that in if you need me to, but are you sure that I'm the person that is best to do this job? And that gives the other person chance to either think about that or to come back to me and say yes or no, you really are or are not the best person for that. Or sometimes honestly them to just say, I'd really like you to be the person that helps me with this. And that's okay, and that's releasing to them and releasing to you. Another way that I have been able to say no in that scenario is, I'm not sure I can fit that in today, or I'm not sure about helping you with that, but if you're really stuck, will you come back to me? So again, that doesn't leave somebody completely stranded, but does give opportunity for someone to look for another solution. And then also helps you understand, or helps me to understand, really how in need this person is, and if I really am the only person who they perceive to be able to help at that moment in time. Another way of saying no is a bit of a half no, which is kind of knowing what I can offer, which is yes, I can't, yes or no, I can't really help you with all of that, but I tell you what, if you were to get yourself to that place, then maybe I could come and pick you up, for example. Or I look to provide maybe a suggestion of someone else that could help that person. So those are some ways in which I've learned to say no, and it's really tricky when the final answer is no, and you really think I can't help that person, or I'm not sure that that's the best thing for whatever reason, is just to sort of accept that in myself, that that was the decision that I'd come to, that was best for my pattern of time at the time, and trust that was then the best thing for them. And I'm a firm believer that God provides for people, and we are often part of that provision, but not always are we the part of that provision. And again, if we step in and provide in a scenario where God had another solution, then we're potentially getting in the way of then God providing. And I have to say, I maybe don't always get it right. Maybe sometimes I can be overprotective of my own time, and sometimes I can be overgiving with my own time. This is all a journey, but those are some ways in which I've thought about being able to say no, and some of the reasons behind it. And one of my big things is that there's a limited capacity, and you can only give out to a certain amount. And if you give out all in one place, then that might prevent either you or someone else giving in a different place. I hope that's helpful, and like I say, it's a journey for each of us, but there are good ways of saying no that are releasing to the person and releasing to yourself. Thank you.
Being the most obvious person for a task doesn't necessarily mean that you are the best person for the job. Be sure you don't block the best person for the job. And we can't save the world. Only one person cannot save the world. You can't help everybody. Only God can do that. So we might need to get away from this I need to save the whole world attitude and own up that no, I really can't do it, and I'm not able to help at this time. Don't attempt to play God. Move off the rescue the world mindset and let God help the person the way only He can. He has His plans. He has ways that He will help everyone. So when you just can't do it, when the final answer is no, make sure you say no. And say it in an unambiguous way, in a way that the person knows that this person really is telling me no. And so they won't keep hoping that you're still going to do it for them. Say no in a way that the person feels you're still on their side. You're always there for them. You'll be able to help them another time. They'll be ready to come to you to make requests some other time. So say no graciously. Say no in a loving way, in a helpful way, in a way that shows that I'd really want to help you, and I would help you if I was able to. And anytime I'm able to help you, I will still be here to help you. Thank you again for coming here today. Make sure to like, to share, to subscribe if you haven't. And how about you leave some comments on why you say no and how you say no. And that would be very helpful to all of us who come to this channel. That's it. Thank you for today, and looking forward to sharing more videos on how and why we say no. Until then, Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.